All right, guys. Hey, good evening. I'm Rodin, and welcome to the Eve Station Trading episode 22. It's getting up there. So glad to see everyone back. Cap Strongest here says I haven't figured out how to stream, let alone have a ticker yet. It's not that hard. It took me a while to actually figure all this stuff out, to be honest. But it is what it is. It was pretty fun figuring out all these things. All right, so let's go ahead and actually get started. I have a few. It's gonna be a. This will either be a really long show or a really short show, depending on how we tangent. But let's start where we always start, which is our prediction reviews. Last week's prediction reviews was actually kind of, it's too general. All right, we called medium azeotropic shields extenders as a buy last week. That's right, I don't have a quick bar anymore. Christ. It's still sitting on that same trade range. It's actually a profitable trading channel, so yeah, that's not bad of a call. Cal Strong says, "Why I play Eve, keeping me alive at my age. New challenges." Tell you what, man. Yeah, the market's definitely challenging. Hey, how you doing, HH Two Face? Alright, what's the next one? The IFFA DCs. I sold these I think this past Sunday, literally all in one. It was just one matched order after another. I had a stock of 200 plus. It was gone within a day. Now, granted, that's actually not much considering the daily volume, but I was kind of surprised that it was being bought up at that frequency. Yep. I actually let's take a look where I bought and sold that. So I sold it at 1.3 and I bought it at 1.1. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's really generous margins considering the volume, the daily volume of this item. So we're pretty lucky with that. Pretty narrow Danchin, says Cap Strongest. Yeah, on the medium azeotropic. Not really. Depending on the resolution that you're looking at, I'm not really a fan of using the Danchin channel, to be honest, because it's susceptible to outliers. It notes all the completed trades, So not a fan, to be honest. I'm more of a moving average kind of guy. If I had to pick. All right, next one we looked at was observe geckos. I'm curious to see how that actually panned out. Oh wow, okay. So it dipped just low enough to have a buy opportunity. That wouldn't have been much though. So let's say that's an even 80. 80 to 90. Where's that sit? So it's 12% before taxes. That's actually not bad considering the volume. There's actually all increased volume as far as the latest entry right here. So does that mean it's going to keep going up at this point? Maybe. A lot of things are at the verge of price corrections and potential extensions of trends. Like this volatility is good, to be honest. It really, really is. But we'll see. If you're cautious, now it's time to be even more cautious, to be honest. If that's just your style. All right, for that was it for our buys. For the sells, we noted the Tech 3 cruisers, all except the Proteus. Yeah, the Proteus was just so heavily nerfed, guys. Like crazy. I wouldn't use it now. No way. Unless there's a very niche role that it can play that it couldn't before. I don't think so though. I mean, worst case scenario, you could probably find more effective ships along the T2 line versus using a Proteus. Let's take a look at those real quick. Let's take a look. Okay, Legion evening out. It's evening out high. Wow. It's definitely still a sell. Man, I'll be really curious to see how this corrects. It's probably not going to correct to its previous low of 130 million. Probably not. Just based on the velocity of the pricing, probably not. Man, that's definitely worth looking into or observing more closely. Tengu's got a lot of action still, man. I'm kind of surprised that the Tengu's seeing this much action still. It's still definitely showing sell signals. As much as I've heard that it's been nerfed a lot more, but at the same time, I think the sheer volume of Kaldari, not just mains, but Kaldari alts, Tengu's, is still a solid PvE ship. I mean, I get that. It's still a solid PvE ship. I mean, if you look at the volume is basically staying the same, but the price is increasing. So people are just buying more of it. And it's a pretty solid doctrine ship. Previously, I'm not sure if that's still the case now, post-change. And finally, the Loki. Yep, still going up there. Volume hanging in there. More buys than sells, that's for sure. The medium prices is riding right at the top of the crest of the Danchin too. So that's mostly buys. It's mostly matched buy orders, or mostly matched sell orders. There you go. I almost misspoke there. All right, Cap Strongest. That's probably because DBR just fit out a whole bunch for a fight. How much did he fit out? Like in the hundreds? Oh, it was like 25. Oh, okay. It's a drop in the bucket, man. Drop in the bucket. It's kind of funny, like when you think of things to scale, some of these entities are just up there. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. All right, next one we marked as a sell was the intact hull section. So those are the ancient relics. In order to make the Tech 3 cruisers. Yeah. All right, it's finally correcting itself. This might be an opportunity for you guys to get a piece of the action. It's correcting from such a high. I'm not sure where it's gonna fall. I think a decent guess would probably be in the between the 10 to 15 million ISK mark. Probably, but I'm thinking more of because of the high vol. Oh man, it's really tough to kind of think about where prices will fall, not just for items that are experiencing a lot of volatility, but in a generally more volatile time, like what we're experiencing right now with the wars and whatnot. Mm. I'd be careful. You don't know how bad how. If I were to make a guess, if I were to say, "Hey, I need you to make money out of the intact hull sections," I would place my buy orders honestly. I would place my buy orders at like the 13 mil mark. I think that's pretty reasonable. Can I expect it to go up back up beyond 30? Probably not. But I think I can reasonably. I think I can expect it to at least cross a 20 million ISK mark in time. All right, and the last bit we called out from last week were the polymer material. Some of them were just really being volatile, mostly as a result of the demand for the production of the Tech 3 cruisers. Wow, it's continuing to even. Now this might be a really good buy opportunity for the C3 FTM acids. I would buy this. I would absolutely buy this. The margin's really tight, so it's not a flip situation. But I think it's fair to assume that there will be like all the racial T3 cruisers need this. Like they need every single one of these. It just the actual uh, volume requirements are different, but they all do need some of them. I think that's a fair bet to actually put money in the C3 FTM acids. Calling it. Carbon 86. This historically is this is one of the more stable ones historically. To see such a high, uh, I'm not sure where this is going to correct. I would probably stay away from this, or at least for another week, to have a better picture. To be honest with you guys, if you must play this, I would say please wait a week. Please wait a week. It's not enough historical information to really to wash out what are outliers. All right, not much for fullerene intercalculated graphite. This is one of the cheaper items. It's just continuing to get up there. It's just the sheer number of volume of this item that's needed throughout all these builds. It's actually quite high, so that kind of makes sense. Same with the fulleroferricines. Same characteristic, a high volume item for any build. Graphene nanoribbons is one of the more expensive ones. Looks like it's going to a trade channel between 30 and 40K. If you're okay playing this with the premise of being able to or having to hold it for potentially 2 weeks at a time, this may be something for you. Graphene nanoribbons. Man, the lanthanum metafullerenes, this is typically a low volume requirement for builds. I'm not sure about the subsystems now though, but at least for the hulls, this is typically a low volume build requirement. I don't know if it's worth it to ride that mania. I think I should be dying out soon. It's quite manic seeing the medians beyond the median averages. The medium. Oh, sorry, seeing the medians above the moving averages. It's a very manic sign. Oh, Adam2790 says, "What's my take on Solarium?" I'm not sure what Solarium is. Oh, it's a processed moon material. Just looking at this chart right now, it's probably going to go back to its trading channel between 10,000 to 12,000 ISK per unit. Will it go back up will it go beyond its or at least reach its previous high again? Not for a while, not based on how hard it crashed. This might just be purely manipulated, to be absolutely honest with you. What's this made of? What makes this? Chromium and cesium. All right, that's very interesting. So let's keep that in mind. Chromium and cesium, because we're actually going to go over those items. So this kind of actually makes sense. This actually kind of I'm actually glad you pointed this out. So this kind of makes sense. We'll go over some movements here. So I actually picked out a few that I saw some really crazy volatility in. I love watching rich people chat. How do we chat? Ray Silence says, "Hey, I have a super I don't use much, so I consider it dead ISK." Yeah, I can see that. I should sell it and flip the ISK on the market. Dude, Are supers more valuable now than they were when you got them? Because I don't know how much you got them for. I don't know if you've already made up the value of that super. Maybe not monetarily, but like did you have enough fun with it that you're okay giving it up? Right? That's as a gamer, that should be a thing, right? Fun level, right? It's not always about fake money. It's fake money. Come on. That's really so very casual about it. So far away from me. I'm not that rich, Cap. I'm not that rich. Most of my ISK, honestly, is like I find ways to not necessarily donate, but I find ways to invest it in other people's operations. So like the actual ISK that's in my wallets, it's actually not that much, considering my history and the type of work I do. It's really not that much. It's like I'm that poor. As long as you're rich in friends, Cap, that's what matters. All right, well, we'll go back to the Silurium bit because it actually triggered one of my findings. All right, I think that's covered all our polymer materials. Oh, no, almost. We were at methanofullerene, pretty common-ish item. It's hitting a trading channel. It's fine. PPD fullerene fibers. Pretty manic with the early part of the week. Someone might be about to crank out some Tech 3 cruisers. And it's evening out for the scandium. Yeah, it's to be expected. It went really, really high, so a price correction was expected. Cat says, I have a corp of 1. Well, why do you even need that corp then? Like, I'll be honest, my trader, straight NPC, man. Straight NPC. Like, for my social bit, we have Discord for that. We're in the age of Discord, man. Like, a corpse? It's like an organizational tool, right? Versus a social tool that it kind of was before. All right, so those are our recap. So I just want to go over our next segment here. So war, finally. All right. I'll be honest. When I caught wind of the State of the Union, and they're saying war, and I'm like, this sounds so much like fake news. That's honestly what I thought it was gonna be like. This sounds so fake. There's no way they're pulling the trigger on anything right now. There's no way. There's no way. But then, and I was, being told, oh, but supers were on the move, or capital fleets were on the move as soon as the State of the Union was done. It's like, okay, that's cool. I was still kind of skeptical, and I still am actually skeptical. Mostly because we keep hearing about like I have a hard time believing. So when people say war, that means different things to different people, I think, especially having experienced things like the casino war and just that sheer level of like decadent conflict that was. It's pretty ridiculous, right? I mean, can we see that amount of asset being thrown around for a war? A war over what? Is it a potential moon grab in preparation for the refineries, or is it one of those yearly excursions by Imperium to go somewhere and just to keep folks engaged in the game? You know, for a while there, I was thinking, oh, this is probably one of those. They go somewhere for like 3 weeks and they go back, and nothing happens, nothing changes, the maps stay the same. But I'm glad that I'm actually wrong on that. I'm really, really glad that I'm wrong. Things are dying, guys. Things are dying. Things are getting bought and sold. And there's an incredible amount of market volatility, right? There's generalized market volatility right now. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Capstone has, yeah, even watching INN and Ghosts and Ghosting the Fleets look like a bit like practice to me. Okay. All right, so what kind of? I didn't actually got into my head that hey, this is could be a legit actual extended conflict slash war until I started looking into the markets. And when someone says war to me, like oh, so and so is going to war, I don't until I see certain markers from the raw materials market. I tend to not believe it because when people say war, I think people have forgotten that war costs. It costs to start a war. And then when you're seeing incredible amounts of volatility in base materials, you know that shit is real. That shit is fucking real. So we're gonna go over some of that volatility. We're gonna focus right now. This is kind of an odd section. I couldn't really fit this in properly as far as the buy and sell of the week. So I thought I'd just address it here, just plainly like this. So I'm gonna go over some volatile base materials that I've noticed through the week. Now I'm not saying buy or sell on any of these at all, guys. What I'm just noting is that hey, look at the volatility. That's all I'm saying. Look at the volatility. So just to kind of narrow things down, this is mostly going to be moon materials, raw moon materials, okay? All right, the first one we're going to look at is chromium. So we're about what, almost 2 weeks into the announcement for war. So it's just been steadily climbing. It's just now finally doing a price correction. Is there an opportunity for this to get in the market with this price correction, guys? I think so. I can't have an intelligent guess into where it's going to end up after this correction. I just don't know enough of it. I'm not sure what the supply and demand dynamic for this item is. I mean, and all this, you have to take all this stuff into account in the kind of context of in a few months, the very mechanic of how we harvest the moon material is going to change. The ownership may be changing, right? Some people may be getting into that market. Some people may be leaving it aside. It's like, hey, that's kind of not my style. It's too active, too much to risk now, So it's volatile not just in the materials as they're being harvested, in some way, somehow making their way back into JITA. Because I can only really show you guys what's being delivered and bought from, what's being delivered to JITA and what's being bought in JITA. Okay. Is there a much fuller picture of the moon market that we cannot see if all we're looking at is just this regional market. Yeah, I think so. That we're not seeing a huge picture, a huge part of the picture, I think. And that, unfortunately, that's not something that I can actually give to you guys. I don't have the tools to do that. It's just a whole bunch of best guesses. Sorry. Capstrong, it says Moon Mats equals Tech 3. No, Moon Mats equals Tech 2. The polymers, which we looked at earlier, the polymer reactions, that equals Tech 3. No nullsec internal market. I think there's definitely a nullsec internal market. Yeah, I mean, I think it's more so prevalent now with the introduction to Citadels and the 0% market and 0% market taxes. Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned this from last week's show. Like, I think it's okay for nullsec. I think it's great for nullsec to have that kind of one up over highsec if they were the only place that could have 0% taxes. Not a fan of the 0% taxes in highsec because it's dumb. It's dumb to have it like that. Super, super dumb. Because you're able to manipulate pricing. You're able to manipulate the market at no cost. At absolutely no cost. No, like it's not risky enough to, it's just not, there's not enough risk to manipulate the market, so everyone tries to get in on the action. Adam says, I'm stockpiling more Silurium for the winter patch. Based on the chromium pricing, yeah, sure, why not? Why not? Why not? It's chromium and cesium, isn't it? Let's look at cesium. Cesium's still going up, man. I think you're onto something, Adam. Adam's onto something. Adam's onto something. All right. Hey, thanks for letting us in on that, though, Adam. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad we were able to kind of dissect it a little bit too. Appreciate it. All right, the next item, hafnium. So similar charting, skyrocketing and doing a price correction. Too early to say how this pattern's gonna probably materialize, to be honest. But I think it's something worth noting, especially with the volatile volume that we've been seeing for this item in the past 10, 14 days or so. Okay, next one's scandium. It's a little. It's what really caught my eye on this one is it's seeing a lot. The pricing is very volatile, but the volume isn't really. So it's genuine demand. People are just buying more of this than putting up. Than I think there are more matching sell orders versus matching buy orders. And that's what's happening with this one. So there's a genuine demand for this item. I'm not sure what kind of final products you can make with scandium, but apparently it's sought after for at least the last 2 weeks or so. Next one's thulium. I really gotta school myself on this one, guys. Sorry, this just isn't my thing. I'm more of a polymer. I'm a Tech 3 guy. I'm not a Tech 2 guy. Same thing with thulium. I'm curious as to, it'd be kind of funny if all these items built into like 1 or 2 coalition level doctrine ships. It'd be kind of funny if that, not even funny, like it would make sense if these items that we're calling out right now actually built into 1 or 2 mainline doctrines. If someone can let us know if that's actually the case, that'd be great. Because I don't know. All right, next one is not necessarily the raws anymore, but the actual processed moon materials. All right, titanium carbide. Boom. So this is a big clue, guys. This is a big clue. What does titanium carbide build into? Tech 2 Caldari stuff. That's what it builds into. And people are just buying it up. They don't even care how much it costs. They're just buying it, legit buying it. It's narrow enough, but then people are just grabbing up the sell orders. That's what this chart is telling me. All right, so if people are buying up the titanium carbide, almost not even caring how much it costs right now, or maybe they're identifying it as pretty cheap still right now, you should expect an increase in value in anything that needs titanium carbide, primarily Tech 2 Caldari stuff. Adam says typhoons, maybe? No, the typhoons are Tech 1, man. So that's just all minerals. Standard minerals. Alright, and the next item is tungsten carbide. So same premise. It's a racial armor, an advanced material that leads into the creation of racial armor plates. Tungsten carbide. So this is for Minotaur. So Tech 2 somethings are going to increase in value, and I'm sorry, Amar. And Amar Tech 2 somethings are going to increase in value. I'm kind of curious what those somethings are going to be. All right, so those are really it, guys. Actually, while we're at it, let's take a look at minerals real quick, because that'll be a good thing to look into as well. So just minerals, not talking about ores, but just minerals. I don't even know why isogen spiked like that. There's no reason for isogen to spike like that. No reason at all. That could be RMT related. I think that's probably RMT. That's probably RMT. It's too big of a dang outlier. Adam says Guardians. Probably Guardians. Probably Guardians. Megasite? Oh, really? A drop like that? A sustained drop too. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Is that a buy opportunity? I think it's too tight to be a buy opportunity. At least for me. I can't play that with crazy volume that would even make sense. Okay, Mexalon's up. Great. That's a sustained rise too. Wow. Okay, Morphite. It's Tech 2 item. Holding steady. No, it's a trade channel. Nothing crazy. Okay. Noxium. Alright, it's rising. So everything's on the rise. There's a genuine demand for all base materials, guys. That's great. Pyrite. Look at that RMT spike. Jesus Christ. Titanium. It's getting up there. It's getting up there. Sidri, another RMT spike. Alright, good to go. Alright, so what have we found out from this? So Tech 3 processed refined materials are generally up. A good portion of the raw moon materials and some processed and advanced moon materials are up. And a lot of the base minerals are also up. So I think I'm kind of surprised that we're just now seeing this instead of, say, a month or two prior. So that what kind of tells me is, like, I don't know, like the war isn't really they weren't expecting the war. There was a shortage in materials for war, and they're just now picking it up. or people or producers are reacting now from the war announcement, and in a bid to build things in mass to sell, it's increasing the price of the raw materials. Yeah. Capstrong says, I think the Lone Wolf called this market Sunday, but was a little cautious. But I'm not seeing that spike locally. You know what? The Lone Wolf's actually really, really good. He's a good dude, man. He's really good with calling out. I think I'm closer to his style of presenting the market than I am to Lockfox. Lockfox, like, he's a straight up like metadata guy, like legit. I think I'm closer to the Lone Wolf, to be honest. Yeah, I can see that if and it looks like the way he presents his information, that he's looking at it in-game information, not so much metadata like the way Lockbox does, like I said. So yeah, I can totally see him making the same observations, or I'm catching on to his observations. Yeah, man, I miss Lock, man. Hopefully he comes back. But right now, I think there's not enough going on in the game that would interest him to come back. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the market scene is yeah, it's not as sexy as it used to be, I guess. So or you got to find ways to make it sexy again, something like that. All right, so I think that's a fair observation, guys. This could be a race to. This could be a building race. This could be a building race to get up there and produce the items that are going to be in demand. Are some producers going to be caught in a position where they really built a lot of stuff but at the end, it didn't quite make it to doctrine level, and they're kind of caught holding all these. What do I do with all these things? And no one's buying them. Yeah, I think so. That's definitely a possibility. So, are there going to be buy opportunities? Not right now, but let's say 2-3 months down the line, someone's got a whole bunch of inventory and he just wants to get rid of it. Yeah, I think so. It's possible. You see that with big conflicts all the time. Some people will just bet on something, but then he can't sell it. So it's possible. Guess I got a ton of high sec raws. That's good. Everybody needs them. Everybody needs them for any build, basically. All right, so we covered that. All right, now we started this last week. We actually have another mail-in question from our same viewer. We'll go over that today. All right, so again, this is from Slazinger. And his question goes, thanks for answering the question. Very helpful. I do have one more for next week's. You mentioned your current strategy has been that of following the signals and basing your choices on that. Currently, I use a combination of the median, which is the orange dot, to find if orders are generally being bought or sold. And we've cited examples of that throughout the show. And then just the basic moving averages, differences, when the short-term average crosses the long, or switching to buying and vice versa, which we've also noted. This seems a little crude, and I wonder if you could show me how to read or determine a buy-sell signal. So ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, based on the information that we do have in the in-game market window, we can't really do much beyond that. So what I would suggest then is visiting this site. So this is the Eve Mogul website. Linked in chat right there. That site will get you to the Eve Mogul website, and they have a section there where Lockfox has created a feed that would allow you to see the market information as an OHLC chart, open, high, low, close. That's a type of charting that you normally would see in the real life financial sector. And he also uses different technical indicators in there. I think specifically the RSI, which tells you if something is overbought or oversold. There are also other programs in there where if you are able to pull out the market data, the pricing via the API, you can feed it in there and actually create your own charts. But beyond that, there's really not a whole lot you can really tell from those charts. So that's just the charting though. One thing you could also do in conjunction with your charting information is actually delve into the fundamental analysis. So what kind of things could you use for fundamental analysis? Things like, oh my God, there's a war. What's the next big doctrine? Something like that, right? Something along the lines of like in-game big events, social or meta play changes. How can I capitalize on that? Where is what's going to be the new hotness next week based on that or other factors? Things like that. Using that on top of your technical analysis knowledge that you've been harnessing, I think you're gonna be really good, man. You're gonna be a really good trader. So something to consider. And hopefully you do visit the eMogul website. I don't know of any other place. I know there have been other market related websites or a collection of tools that's kind of similar to what eMogul offers. But that's the one that I've been using for a while now, so that's why I'm recommending it. All right, well, thank you for the question. I know it's not much of an answer, it's just that there wasn't really much to answer because you kind of are doing all the right things already. So, good on you. All right, so we did that. And what other thing? As of last 2 weeks or so, or a bit over a week, I've trimmed down to one account. Scary. Resnick says, even if you believe, have a serious addiction problem with this game. Yes, so do we all. So do all of us here in chat. Well, good evening, man. But yeah, I'm down to one account, man. Crazy. I have my main, Rodin. I have my Faction Warfare character, and I have Robo, my trading character, all in the same account. It's actually not bad, to be honest. I'm actually pretty happy that I was able to trim down to two. I don't really, in this day and age, I mean, it seems like we don't really need two accounts anymore. You don't even need two accounts for the miner/hauler combo anymore, because some mining ships can hold a whole bunch of ore. Short of being a capital pilot, I can't imagine actually needing, not wanting, but needing two or more accounts. That's just me. So I'm kind of glad I was able to trim down to just one Omega, and we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty happy with it so far, though. Pretty happy with it. Dresnick says, one account is best. I have one Omega clone for all my PvP action. Yep, and one Alpha account to evade high-sec Vortex. Yeah. Only reason was Sino. Yeah, basically, I'm not a cap pilot anymore, so I'm like, why do I need a second account? I literally crunched them all down to 3 distinct playstyles. I'm okay with that. All right. And a real quick self-promo time before we get started for next week, our current picks for the week. So we did a second episode of our Albion Online podcast. Having a lot of fun with that game, man. That's actually one of the reasons that I cut down to one, because I wanted to be a premium member, a premium account holder in Albion. So I was like, I can't really justify like all these subscriptions, so crush down to one, pick up another game. It plays so similar to Eve, at least the market stuff. Combat stuff, that's a different realm. But it feels a lot like Eve. Dresnick says, bet the Northern War has affected the market a bit. Yes, it has. I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but we totally went over like a whole bunch of stuff. So hopefully you'll be able to catch this episode, which I'll be posting on YouTube here as soon as we're done. I was like, stop that. I have to work for a living. Yeah, no, man. It's like crunched down to one account, so that's $15, and my Albion Online Premium account's like $10 a month. And I discontinued altogether ArcAge. Yeah, I'm comfortable where I'm at, man. As far as my spending for games, subscription wise, I'm pretty happy where I'm at. So I'm glad I was able to pull the trigger on that. No changes for our investment group. I think some of our old operators are coming back, becoming more active again. Besides that, not a whole lot, I don't think. At least not enough to actually make a report to you guys. Dressing says, I need to play Albion again. I played first week, but then went back to Eve. Dude, they've been like, I've experienced some DDoSing in Eve, but DDoSing in Albion, that shit's real. That shit's so real. But as a content creator, talk show person type, I definitely enjoy making content for Albion. You have so many inquisitive players in Albion. Yeah, but Eve will always be my first love, man. It always will be. So I'm definitely in it for the long haul. I just wish it's in a better state than what it is now. That's like all I'm asking. All I'm asking is just for a fair state. That's all I'm asking. All right, so let's go ahead and go over our picks for the week. I thought about actually removing this one pick, but I'm going to call it out anyway. I put Intosis Link 2s as a buy, so let me explain that part. There's not, so looking at the chart, very, very narrow trade window, but a crazy amount of volume recently. So keep that in mind. So the actual pricing has not changed, but the volume has. So what does this mean? More people matching sell orders versus buy orders. That's what it means. Now looking back to the data, as early as yesterday, this window did not look like this. As of yesterday, there was literally maybe half a page on sell orders. That's it. So is there an opportunity to be able to, if you can make these items or if you have them stocked, right, dump them on the sell side? Is there a good chance that it's going to get matched? Yeah, I think so. I think there's a genuine, especially with the war, and if it is an actual war to take things, an actual war to take space, they're going to need Intosis links. They're going to need a lot of Intosis links. So I think it's worth putting into it. I wouldn't like empty out my wallet for this, but I would probably put speculative bets on this. I think it wouldn't hurt to put speculative bets on it. Even better if we could actually flip it from buy to sell. But let's see how much that is. Because there's more action on the sell side than the buy side. So I don't even know if it's worth it to actually play it as a flip. It's 8% before taxes. Yes, that's workable. I can work with that. Resonates the nature of Fuzzy Sub means a lot of links. Yes, there's gonna be a lot of links. So yeah, I mean it's not really a hardcore flip item. It's just I just wanted to show you guys that as of yesterday, there's literally a quarter of a page on the sell side of Intosis Links 2. And now it's filling up. People have caught up. But is there still some room for you guys to get in there if you wanted to? I think so. If you're patient enough, I think so. So that's why I kept that as a buy item. Next one is observing covert ops cloaking device 2s. So they look kind of volatile. Yep. It got volatile in the last 2 days. So solve war, bombers, right? Covert ops cloaking device 2s. It's gonna be a thing. Just saying. Even to flip it though, it's actually not bad. Capstrong says, even with G2 Coalition, this seems a little early, no? Can you elaborate on that question, Cap? I'm not sure what you mean. Dresnick says, has the Jackdaw market recovered? Ugh, Jackdaws. Ugh, Jackdaw. I got burned so hard on Jackdaws like a year ago. Like really badly. Let's take a look at Jackdaws real quick. Jackdaws have more than recovered. More than recovered. Look at that. Holy shit. Sell this shit. Cap says, Intel says this is all practice so far. You mean like this isn't a real war? This is practice? I'm not sure why you would want Jackdaws right now. Unless the Tech 3 cruiser changes have made it so Tech 3 destroyers have a better niche. Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. That's all I can think of. That the Tech 3 cruiser rebalancing made some room for the Tech 3 destroyers. Alright, those are the only things I actually call out for buys, guys. I'm super hesitant to call out other buys right now. The main reason being the volatile local market for the item, volatile time. I'd hate to make a call on something that has no historic precedence and have you guys get burned. I think this is a great opportunity for you guys to keep your eyes open, keep your ears open too for like different news and stuff like that, and take action. If you want to take action, I think this is the time. This is an example of a time where you hear something, you act. If you feel like it's the right call, you act. Don't wait, because the very nature of the market right now is super volatile. You may miss out on an opportunity just by waiting a day, potentially. Couch says, "Hey, we listen to learn. It's our decision." Yeah, that's true. All right, next one is our sells, guys. So our sells list this week actually builds upon what we called out for moon materials. So I'm actually calling out, I think this is all of it. I'm calling out all of the racial plates, the advanced components, all of the racial plates minus the ones that builds into that builds Galente Tech 2 items. So that's tungsten carbide armor plate. We'll start off with that. Crazy volatile. Crazy volatile with this, guys. And it's not even like, I mean, it's within the history of the volume, so it's just straight demand for this. So this builds into Tech 2 Amar stuff. Caps is nice. I build plates. There you go. So yeah, definitely if you're not building further into the production line with the plates, consider selling. Next one's titanium diaborite armor plate. So the Kaldari variant. That's crazy, man. Just that chart just looks crazy. It's like boop, then back down. Ugh. It'll probably sustain that elevated price though for a while, especially after seeing what we've seen so far. I think for at least for another week, at least another week, reasonably. Cap's like, nope, just build the plate. Like, okay. Next one is the Fernite carbide composite armor plate. So Minmatar stuff. Same thing, same picture, man. Big increase, big increase. It's not just the sell orders being matched, the buy orders are actually following suit as well, as you can see. So I'm not sure why the Galente one is not seeing the same type of. I mean, it's there. It's just evened out more, but it's not as drastic right now. Like it's almost as if this was the first one to go high, but then it evened out sooner. Yeah, it doesn't look nearly as volatile as the others. All right. So so all these things that we've called out, they actually one of the more high volume items that they can build into are Tech 2 frigates. Interceptors, specifically. Interceptors. Yeah. You guys should really see this shit. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So that makes sense though, guys, right? So a genuine Sov war from the looks of things. Potentially a genuine Sov war. Big action on sources links. Big action on raw materials for minerals plus moon materials plus polymers. Everything's high right now. And now you're seeing the final. Now you're seeing action trickling down to final products being Tech 2 frigates, interceptors specifically. So we'll look at those right now. Like literally all the racial interceptors are hot right now, super hot. Crusader's hot. It's hot. Malediction, not as hot, but still hot. Dresnik says Intis are the best counter to Fozzie Sov. It's such terrible game design though, Dresnik. Terrible. Terrible. Come on. I see what you're saying, but it's still terrible. How strong is this? Someone is jacking the market. Curve is replicating too often. Uh, it's hard to tell, to be honest. Sometimes it's just normal price action. Alright, so Amar interceptors are hot, both variants. Okay, Crow's kind of weak. Raptor's hot though. Dude, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy outlier pricing. Upwards of 50 million for a Raptor. Get out of here. No, I'm not gonna buy that shit. Well, not now. It's already hit it. So these are definite sells, guys. Definite sells. If you're not intending to use it to contribute to the Sov war. Capstrong says I'm a noob and listen to mids and DVRB too much. I think they're very sensational, but I think it's not all sensationalism. I think there are genuine truths to what they say. You just kind of have to be able to pick them out. Dresnick says Crow's useless. Any NC with under 2-second alignment is what you need to counter Entosis. Okay. So from a mechanic standpoint, Crow's is not good. Okay, that makes sense. It definitely is revealed in the market data. Okay, Ares, right, big jump. Tyrannus, sustained increase, but it looks like it's finally plateauing for the Tyrannus. It's okay. And cap. Minotaur one. You know this shit's gonna get hot, guys. Boom! Claw! It's fucking nuts. Super high volume. Super high outlier pricing. Man, the price correction on this is gonna be fucking epic. Actually, no, probably not. The price correction is probably gonna be actually pretty probably conservative, to be honest. This claw is such a good tool for this, for Entosis. Stiz. Stiletto, yeah, a little bit, yeah, but not nearly as drastic as the claw. How strong is that's the ECM? But no, these are still the interceptors. Still the interceptors. Kazami Tempest says, "Hello there. Been a really long time away from this game. Welcome back. Wondering if I should return to it or if there's anything similar without the space element that is actively played nowadays." Not gonna lie, man. Albion online will probably be a better bet for you if space isn't your thing. But if you're coming back, I mean, we're about to be entering a war, man. I don't know if you still have, I don't know if you have any nullsec tunes, but I think it's worth sticking around for the war, to be honest. Especially if it's ramping up to be as a prolonged conflict as it is. Yeah, I think it's worth sticking around. Dude, stop that Albion shilling. I can, man. It's a good man. And the only reason I shill it, to be honest, is because I play it. You know what I mean? It's because I play it, and if you haven't, and it feels like Eve. Because the thing is, I felt Uncharted Waters Online was similar to this. I've never played it, so I can't say. In a good way, but it's almost dead community otherwise. I watched a video for fuck's sake. So I'm considering just trying Eve again or some other games like those. I mean, because I don't know how long you've been away, but we have alpha clones now. You know, the last few, like, what, 6+ months now, if not almost a year. So yeah, it's worth. You're able to genuinely try Eve for free, forever, if you're okay with that. Yeah. Capsus can't afford both. Stick around, Cap. I'm actually working on a how to plex Albion Online video. I'm working on it. Because I last played the free-to-play launch, but that was too brief to learn anything new. Yeah, I think it's more of a if you're a returning player, so not a genuine new player. I think the alpha status, the alpha clone, is actually not bad. I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. If you're okay with the limitations, and I think you can get a lot of fun out of the limitations, to be honest. So. Cap, check it out, man. The same shit I'm doing here to flex my accounts, or if I wanted to, I'm doing the same thing in that game. Because I was like, I'm more like I never got into the game due to its you. I can see that. I can totally see that. I can see that. Yeah. Like, Eve's UI is so ugly. Because most of the more it's one thing if it's ugly but functional, but it's like neither, you know. Hopefully that's something that they can look into. It's just not, and like it's 2017. Like for fuck's sake, guys, why do we have this like spreadsheet looking thing? Fuck. It's crazy. All right, well that's all I got, guys. I really don't have much more to report, but hey, thanks very much, Adam, for queuing us in on some moon material stuff. And hopefully I'll be able to kind of give you guys a market aspect to the war as much as I can based on my level of scope on the game in that aspect of it. But we'll see. I mean, should the expectation be more volatility? No, actually. I think we've passed the manic stage and things are starting to cool down now that things are starting to kind of get figured out as far as where folks are staging, as far as what's actually up for grabs. I think that if you were to make a long bet on the war, I would put money on the moon materials because that's gonna bleed into the refinery changes. But is there even time left to do that? Probably not, to be honest. If there is, it's going to be really short-lived windows of opportunity. I think there's no going back to Kazami here. I think there's really no. You're not gonna lose anything by trying Eve as an alpha. You're really not, you know. That was just good luck with getting space rich. I don't need to be space rich, man. I'm down to 1 account, man. I'm cool. I've already almost won. I'm so close to winning. 1 account, baby. 1 account. I mean, if I could do this shit as an alpha, I totally would, but I know I can't. There's no way I could. There's no way. Like doing market stuff, trading is one of those things where if you actually want to be competitive, I think more so than PvP, you actually have to be an alpha. You have to. All right, but hey, thanks very much to everyone. This was a really fun stream. Probably one of the more engaging ones. I really appreciate the folks that are super active in Twitch chat, and hopefully we can do this again, and hopefully with more news. I do miss having guests, so if any of you guys want to be guests, just hit me up. Hit me up in-game mail under Rodin or Robro, and we'll see if I can get you in, man. In the end, it doesn't really matter who you are. I'll talk. You know, we'll set you up. It's all good. Guess I got 5 bill, which allows me to be happy. It's the chat that's so much. Yeah. Hey, Kazami, I'll link my YouTube channel right now, so you can kind of catch this. I'm gonna just do a once over on this, and then upload it to my YouTube channel. So. Hey, no problem, Adam. Have a good one. But yeah, Kazami, that's I just linked my YouTube channel right there. If you just wanna, if this will literally be uploaded in the next like 2.5 hours. Everyone's got something to contribute. You'll be surprised, Cap. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna cut it right here, so I can go ahead and disseminate this information through other platforms. We're definitely looking forward to next week. Hopefully, we get a little bit more news. Lately, it's basically just been AT or nothing. So, love it, but it's not very good for market stuff. All right, guys. Oh yeah, definitely. I do this every week, Kazami. So every week, 0-100 UTC. Cool. Well, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next week. Appreciate it.